What's our line?
So I think we stopped. Give me 1 second.
Yes,
Uh, go, yeah. So ghost like pursues all that we dream and do. That
okay.
was the line we stopped. And
That
so,
last line. Okay. So I'm ready now,
okay.
and you can begin when you like.
Although on earth our firm established lives, a working of habit or a sense of law, a steady repetition in the flux, yet are its roots of will ever the same? These passions are the stuff of which we are made.
You haven't worked on this at all. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Although on earth our firm established lives. Yes, we're established. We live in a body, and the body is not very conscious, but it's aware that it's alive, and it's aware that there's a steady repetition in the flux of everything. It's always repeating the same things. Uh, my work, my meals, my family, blah blah. Yet are its roots of will ever the same. These passions, in other words, these things that happen to us, are the stuff of which we are made. And then he has one sentence next, and one sentence after that, full sentences.
Mhm. This was the first cry of the waking world.
Awaking.
Okay. This was the first cry of the awaking world.
Yes, this is the first cry. This this experiment of life and these passions and the stuff of which we are made. And then the next full sentence.
Okay. It clings around us still and clamps the God.
Because we are so fixed in our habits.
Mm,
These habits and these passions cling around us, and they clamp the God. And
okay,
now continue on.
sure. Even when reason is born and soul takes form, in beast and reptile, and in thinking man, it lasts and is the fount of all their life.
If you would have some time to just read it once before we meet uh, during the week, it would help a lot because now I feel that you're just trying to get all the words in.
Actually, Narad sir, I tried yesterday, but I think I was reading page 141. I
Oh, okay.
skipped this and I moved there. Yeah.
So he's talking about reason now, and he's
Mhm.
talking about reason being born and the soul taking form in the body, of course. And
Mm.
even in beast and reptile and in thinking man, it that lasts, that reason lasts. It lasts and is the fount of all their life. Well, the soul taking form is also the fount of all our life. That's why
Okay.
we've taken birth.
Mhm.
Okay, so carry on.
This too was needed that breath and living might be.
See how many full sentences he has.
Yes, yes,
This too was needed, that breath and living might be. What was needed? Well, reason.
reason.
Reason was needed. So
Yeah.
now we have four lines.
Mhm. Yes. The spirit is a finite, the spirit in a finite, ignorant world must rescue. So its present consciousness
No, must rescue so its
Okay.
prison consciousness.
Okay. The spirit in a finite, ignorant world must rescue so its present consciousness, forced out in little jets at quivering points from
Quivering, quivering,
quivering. Okay.
quivering, shaking.
Yeah. The spirit in a finite, ignorant world must rescue so its present consciousness, forced out in little jets at quivering points from the inconscience sealed infinitude.
Yeah, so
Long one.
all of these things are needed so that breath and living might be. And the spirit is now in a finite, ignorant world. We are
Mhm,
not in an infinite world. We are not in a world of knowledge and truth. And so
mhm,
the spirit has to rescue its prisoned consciousness. And
mm,
that prisoned consciousness is forced out in little jets at quivering points. From what? From the inconscience sealed infinitude. So that's
okay.
about all we can do right now
So,
is,
Narad sir, where I'm not getting this line is, what is, this an analogy for jets and at quivering points is something a little hard for me to.
you have to look at me when you're asking questions. Otherwise, I don't hear you.
Oh, okay.
You have to turn to me when you're asking questions. But I got it this time. So
Okay.
what these little jets, you know what a jet is? It's a stream from a nozzle.
Mhm,
So he's he's saying that this consciousness is forced out in little jets at
mm,
quivering, trembling points, shaking
mm.
points. From
Okay.
where? From the inconscience, capital I, inconscience, sealed infinitude. And we've talked so many times about the inconscient,
Mhm.
but it's,
So it's like coming out at intervals, is it? How we should think about it.
yes, it comes out at not exactly at intervals, but at
Mm,
points, almost intervals, points that are quivering.
mm,
but
okay.
but it comes out from the inconscience sealed infinitude.
Mm,
So
yes.
at this moment in our life, the infinitude, which is a term Sri Aurobindo coined,
Mhm,
the infinitude is sealed at this point. It's sealed in the inconscient. We have to
mhm,
open that up. And so we force things out in little jets at
mm,
quivering points from this
mm.
sealed infinitude of the inconscient. Clear?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Then slowly it gathers mass, looks up at light.
Yes. And that is what is beginning to happen to us
Mm,
by our love for the mother and our
mhm,
readings of Sri Aurobindo's brilliant words.
mhm,
Words of light also. So slowly, this consciousness of ours gathers mass
mhm.
and looks up at light.
Understood. This nature lives tied to her origin, a clutch of nether, a clutch of nether force is on her still. Out of unconscious depths, her instincts leap. A neighbor is her life, to insentient naught.
Very powerful statement.
Mm.
This nature is living tied to her origin. Her origin is ignorance. There's no question about it. When we come down from those spiritual heights, those brilliant heights of light and truth, we enter into a body that is ignorant. And so we have this clutch of nether, which is lower force, is
Mhm.
on her still. And out of unconscious depths, this nether force of instincts leap. And therefore is a semicolon, and he says, therefore, a neighbor is her life to insentient naught. So insentient is without feeling or sensation or consciousness. And naught, of course, is nothingness.
Under this law, an ignorant world was made.
And certainly we are in that. I was with Sradalu last night for 1.5 hours on evenings with Sradalu. And he was talking about these cities. He's been doing that for some weeks. It was a brilliant talk.
Okay.
Only I'm not strong enough to stay up for 2 hours constantly, so I had to give it up, but it was brilliant.
Okay.
Under this law, an ignorant world was made. Yes, of course, because we are neighbor to insentient naught. And out of the unconscious depths, these instincts that we have leap forward.
Totally makes sense now. Okay.
Good.
Mhm.
Next.
In the enigma of the darkened vasts, in the passion and self-loss of the infinite, when all was plunged in the negating void, non-being's night could never have been saved. If beings had not plunged into the dark, carrying with it its triple mystic cross.
Okay, so this is very important. So we'll go through this very carefully. So in the enigma, in the puzzle of the darkened vasts,
Mhm.
and in the passion and self-loss of the infinite. Why does he say self-loss? Because we were
Coming down.
we were one with the infinite
Mhm.
at the heights. But
Right.
taking birth, we have this self-loss of the infinite. And then when everything was plunged in this negating void, this nullified, invalid void negating, non-being's night. So non-being, we have in the Life Divine an important statement
Mhm.
from Sri Aurobindo. He says non-being is only a word. When we
Okay.
examine the fact it represents, we can no longer be sure that absolute non-existence has any better chance than the infinite self of being more than an ideative formation of the mind. We really mean by this nothing, something beyond the last term to which we can reduce our purest conception and our most abstract or subtle experience of actual being as we know or conceive it. Well, in this universe, this nothing then is merely a something beyond positive conception. And when we say that out of non-being, being appeared, we perceive that we are speaking in terms of time about that which is beyond time.
Okay.
So if now this this whole thing, this night of non-being could never have been saved if being had not plunged into the dark. And this is such an important line because Mother and Sri Aurobindo, who we revere as avatars, both had to go into the darkest of the dark to bring light there. We don't know how much they sacrificed, carrying with it its triple mystic cross. Now, Alok said the mystic cross is the symbol of the threefold status of the one divine: the Father, transcendent; the Son, the individual soul; the Holy Spirit, cosmic or the universal. But I feel that Temi had a better grasp of it. She said Satchidananda. In the previous line, it is the Holocaust of the Purusha. By that sacrifice, heaven comes down to us. Beautiful. So we can read a little more.
Narad, so 1 second, I'll just put your last line in my book.
Okay.
Okay. Carrying with it, sorry, that we've done. Invoking in world time the timeless truth. Bliss changed to sorrow, knowledge made ignorant. God's force turned into a child's helplessness can bring down heaven by its sacrifice.
By their sacrifice, yeah.
By their sacrifice.
Yes, so that's exactly what I was just telling you.
Mm-hmm.
So the divine is invoking in world time, in our time in which we live, the timeless truth. But we see that bliss has changed to sorrow and knowledge made ignorant. God's force turned into a child's helplessness. But all these three things, the bliss turning to sorrow, the knowledge made ignorant, and this force of God turned into a child's helplessness, can bring down heaven by their sacrifice. So now we can go just a few more lines.
Sure. A contradiction founds the base of life. The eternal, the divine reality has faced itself with its own contraries. Being became the void and conscious force, nescience and walk of a blind energy. And ecstasy took the figure of world pain.
Sri Aurobindo is continuing on with this same discussion. So we see that this is the divine reality, who is the eternal, has faced itself with its own contraries.
Yeah.
So what no one can really understand is this Leela of the divine, this play of the divine is facing itself with its own contraries. And what happened? Well, being became the void, and conscious force, nescience, and walk of a blind energy, and ecstasy took the figure of world pain. So all those great things, Sat, Chit, Shanti, Sat, Chit Shakti Ananda have changed the moment that this earth was formed and consciousness became a part of the human evolution.
Mhm.
So I think you should read because,
Oh, sure.
yeah, it's quite late now.
So going back to page 140.
Yes.
Okay. Although on earth are firm established lives, a working of habit or a sense of law, a steady repetition in the flux, yet are its root of will ever the same. These passions are the stuff of which we are made. This was the first cry of the awaking world. It clings around us still and clamps the God. Even when reason is born and soul takes form in beast and reptile and in thinking man, it lasts and is the fount of all their life. This too was needed that breath and living might be. The spirit in a finite, ignorant world must rescue so its present consciousness, forced out in little jets at quivering points from the inconscient's sealed infinitude. Then slowly it gathers mass, looks up at light. This nature lives tied to her origin. A clutch of nether force is on her still. Out of unconscious depths, her instincts leap. A neighbor is her life to insentient naught. Under this law, an ignorant world was made. In the enigma of the darkened vasts, in the passion and self loss of the infinite, when all was plunged in the negating void,
Into the negate, when all was plunged into the negating,
when all was plunged into the negating void, non being's night could never have been saved if beings had not plunged into the dark, carrying with it its triple mystic cross, invoking in world time the timeless truth, bliss changed to sorrow, knowledge made ignorant, God's force turned into a child's helplessness, can bring down heaven by their sacrifice. A contradiction founds the base of life. The eternal, the divine reality has faced itself with its own contraries. Being became the void, and conscious force, nescience, and walk of a blind energy. And ecstasy took the figure of world pain.
can you work a little bit more on the D of and ecstasy?
Okay,
Just lost it a little bit.
okay. And ecstasy took the figure of world pain. I will work on that, Narad.
Right.
Okay.
Is that where we ended?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, well, you're picking up very fast now the sense of the passages, and you're reading them very well. So, congratulations.
Thank you, Narad sir. I mean, I read it, but I don't get everything. When you explain, then it comes to me, and that helps the reading.
Well, that's Mother's grace. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste, Narad sir. You have a great week ahead. Thank you.